All right, Shane, so let's jump it down to the other side, go down to Starkville, where, hey, I want to start this by just playing this clip from Mike Leach. This was, I don't know what the hell the guy asking the question was thinking, but this is almost unbelievable that this is where we're at in this college football season.
Coach, most people weren't expecting Alabama to drop that ball game. I mean, how do you combat maybe your guys relaxing a little bit, saying, oh, yeah, well, this isn't the same Alabama team it has been?
Well, if we relax against the University of Alabama, then we are the stupidest team in college football. You know, I mean, if we relax under those circumstances, we may have some very good qualities. You know, and we may have some very positive things and stuff like that. But you have to really be a dumb team to relax if you're playing Alabama or anybody like. Really, our schedule, if you relax to playing our schedule, period, I can't think anybody you can relax on, at least not around here or coming up, so.
All right, Shane, so, hey, I guess it is what it is, but this kind of goes back to the fact that Mississippi State beat Texas A&M, did what Alabama couldn't, and hell, this is kind of the MO of the Pirates, Shane. I mean, yeah, he may lose to a team like Memphis. Of course, again, there's questionable.
They didn't lose that game. Yeah.
Right. I mean, certainly you could debate that, but I mean, just look at Mike Leach's track record wherever he's been. I mean, somehow his teams will drop a game unexpectedly from time to time, and yet they could turn around and beat the number one team in the country. So
right.
I know Alabama's not currently number one right now, but I think Mississippi State's got a lot of confidence going into this matchup. You're getting a wounded Alabama. You're getting a hurt Alabama. You're getting them at home with them cowbells, Shane. It's at night. I mean, and like I said, Will Rogers, that's been kind of the main issue with this offense is just inconsistency from the quarterback position, inconsistency from the offensive line. The receivers, they've kind of needed guys to emerge there. Looks like they've got that now via the transfer portal. They've got it now with Will Rogers, who just now, this will be technically, one season as a starting quarterback going into this game. So he's got the experience you would think. And I don't know if I'm a Mississippi State fan. Certainly, against Alabama, you don't just sit here and count a W before it happens, but you got to feel, I mean, this is about as good as you can feel going into an Alabama game, I would think. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, this is perfect. This is right where you want them. Like you said, if you were going to, I guess orchestrate how you face Alabama, you want it coming off an upsetting loss. Mm-hmm. You want it, a team that's young and struggled a little bit here the last few weeks. I think that's exactly what you want at home, like you said, with the cowbells are going. Coach Leach has been in this type of situation before. He's won big games like this before, so yeah, I think this is the best shot you're going to have to beat Alabama.
Yeah, I mean, how? I'm just talking myself into this one, Shane. How wild would it be? Alabama loses 2 in a row. Oh my goodness!
Oh, I'm telling you, man. The first one was sweet for a non-Alabama fan. The second one, oh my gosh, I'd love to be down there and burning couches with them, But let's be realistic here, man. This is the Crimson Tide. This is Nick Saban that's won lost 6 games, something stupid like that in the last 80 years or something. I don't know. Some aggressive stat like that, but he's not used to losing, and he's not definitely used to losing multiple games in a row. So I don't want to get too excited, but if I am a Mississippi State fan, I'm telling you right now, the fact that you've seen this team look human against Texas A&M, the fact you've seen this team struggle against the second half of the Florida Gators, the blueprints are out there. How can you disrupt or make Alabama struggle? It's out there, and the main thing is you got to outscore them, and that's one thing the Pirate is good at doing, is creating points on the scoreboard. So, yeah, if I'm a Bulldog fan, I'm optimistic. I think there's no reason not to be.
Shane, when Mississippi State pulls the upset, we put Nick Saban on the hot seat?
Hell no. Saban stay as long as he want, man. And I love it, man, because some people, you hear it. This is the craziest thing. When what do you complain about when you're Alabama? You lost one game. You still control your destiny. You still could go to the SEC champion. You still could win a national championship. Here you are on the SEC podcast, and we're trying to convince you that Mississippi State has a shot in this thing when everybody knows how good Alabama really is. It's just, that's who you are. That's who you are. The guy. You're you always hear that when you go to the new school. You want to punch the bully right in the face. That's what happened. The bully got punched last week.
Right.
So now everybody's trying to figure out who the top dog is in the SEC. These guys can just step right back up, dust off, and carry on. And I think that's the biggest thing. Don't be surprised if Alabama doesn't bounce back. I mean, what happens if Alabama hangs 40 on Mississippi State and shuts them out? Then we're saying, okay, last week may have been a fluke. Alabama's back. Let's put them back. Let's put them back in the number one spot. So I'm not willing to just. I'm not willing to just get rid of Alabama. I mean, I want to. I want this to be a more of an equal playing field, but I got to be realistic. It is the Crimson Tide, and they are loaded top to bottom.
Yeah, and it's almost like going into that Ole Miss game where there were some doubters like me, Shane. Maybe that's the perfect spot for this Nick Saban coach team. He wants that doubt in. He wanted them to suffer somewhat of a setback so that he could get their full attention and let them know, hey, if you don't do as I tell you, we can be beat. You know what I mean? So who knows? I mean, this might be the perfect spot for Alabama as well.
If you're going to lose a game, is there a better game? I mean, obviously it would have helped if Texas A&M was ranked, but you still can win out. You still can go to the national champion, go to the playoffs. I mean, all that. Like you said, this could be the wake-up call they needed. They played sluggish against Florida. They played. I'm not saying bad. They just made mistakes. Texas A&M was just playing good ball, and they caught them. So I think maybe. I don't want to. Again, I want to keep Mississippi State positive. I mean, this is me. If Tennessee was playing them this week, I'd be saying the same thing. I was like, maybe, but realistically, too, this could be an opportunity for Alabama to bounce back and get back on that path to a national championship.
Well, speaking of an actual hot seat, Shane, let's jump all down to Baton Rouge, where things are not getting any easier for Coach O. Hosting the Florida Gators this week. And, of course, last season, huge underdog, 23-point underdog, I believe it was, in the Swamp. LSU with the huge upset of the Florida Gators. And, of course, you want that victory, but it's probably going to bite you in the ass this week because Florida ain't going to be overlooking you no matter how bad LSU is playing. They're not going to be overlooked. This is one of the best rivalries, not only in the SEC, but the entire country. And Florida has won in Death Valley many, many times. So I don't think they're going to be threatened by it. Dan Mullen and Ed Orgeron have had many battles over the years. And, man, Keishawn Butte's out. Things are looking rough for LSU. And as soon, we were worried about the running game all season. They get that going. Now the passing game's an issue. Now all of a sudden, Max Johnson looks shaky. And maybe they're putting too much on him. Maybe they can't protect him. I mean, it's a number of factors, but he does not look to be the same player. The defense is falling apart. And it's just not looking good for Coach O. And like I said, the last thing I think Florida's, they may not be playing their best ball, but I think they're being underlooked, because they're a top 20 team in the country. But